So let me introduce Dr. Hare Krishna Deka, a good friend of mine and the CEO of National Small Scale Poultry Development Trust. I told in the opening remarks that they are working in the bottom of the pyramid and they are doing a great work with the women entrepreneurs in 5 states. So it's really appreciable that they are creating, I'd say, value for the economy where it is required. They are creating sustainable entrepreneurship and then livelihood for the women in the country. So their organization is recognized by Honorable Prime Minister. She sir saw the model in the Pragati Maidan with our secretary and joint secretary. All appreciations and kudos to Dr. Hare Krishna ji. So all over to Dr. Deka.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So basically, National Smallholder Poultry Development Trust is a public charitable trust, and we are today one of the leading smallholder poultry in India. So we are working with the marginalized section, poorest of the poor, bottom line of the pyramid, focusing on mostly the indigenous communities, tribal people. I'll not go into details of poultry industry, but what I want to say is that in poultry, this labor efficiency is key to the productivity. And therefore, the poor people who usually works as laborers, wage laborers or wage earners in the poultry farms of big guys. So they have space in poultry industry. They can participate in poultry growth. So this National Smallholder Poultry Development Trust, we are basically making this commercial poultry possible for the rural poor. So through its smallholder community model, we enable these poor women in rural India to run and start and run these successful poultry enterprises. And our culture is to nurture entrepreneurship by demonstrating high standard of professional excellence and living the values of transparency, collaborations, and human touch for all the stakeholders, with a mission to promote and advance the smallholder poultry as an instrument for bettering life and livelihoods of rural poor. So we promote basically social enterprise. There is a primary difference between an enterprise and a social enterprise. Social enterprise is the blend of compassionate approach of the social sector and then commercial aspect of an enterprise. It is having both aspects, both this compassionate approach as well as this commercial approach. And it is promoted for the benefit of community and the environment. So whatever profit the social enterprise will yield or will make, so it is usually used to fund the social programs. So myself is a practitioner. I graduated in veterinary sciences in 2001, and I had a spirit to do something different. So I joined instead of joining for master degree or some institutions for higher studies. I joined as a trainee in development sector. And I was influenced by my mentor, who was Mr. Anish Kumar Srivastava. So I dedicated myself promoting commercial poultry with rural poor. And that's how we worked the smallholder poultry model, which is recognized by Food and Agriculture Organizations of United Nations as a good practice for poverty reduction in the country. So where do we work? So we work in these poverty-stricken interior rural pockets. And these are the areas which are typically characterized by social discrimination. So mostly these people from marginalized section or underprivileged sections, these tribal and SC communities, so they face all this social discrimination. So they are isolated socially, economically, culturally, and typically characterized by food insufficiency and then gender inequality. So we work with those women from these communities who are very, very poor, extremely poor, ultra poor from indigenous communities. And they are typically characterized by lack of assets. They hardly have anything to earn. And then there is hardly any livelihoods exist in those areas. And most importantly, lack of agency. So they themselves do not know how to change their life unless there is some external factors or agency that goes and help them to to take charge of their life, to motivate them that they can also do something and bring changes to their life. So this life before poultry, typically in these communities, as I said, there is food insufficiency. They do not know what to eat next day. There is a distress migrations, which is very, very prevalent in all those villages in these communities for survival, because they hardly have anything to eat at least for 6 months in a year. So they used to migrate along with their family members to big towns, cities, Delhi, Mumbai, or some other nearby cities to earn livelihood through wage earning. And typically, if you look at their annual household income is 15,000 to 30,000 a year. It is very difficult to believe. 3 days back, I was going through a report which is published by Ambedkar University and Azim Premji Philanthropy University. And the report says that 41% families from these communities, tribal and SC people, have annual household income less than 36,000 rupees. That is, monthly income is less than 3,000 rupees. So that is not small number. 41% of the total populations of the scheduled tribe and scheduled caste people in this country, they are living with less than 3,000 rupees income per month. So because they do not have such income, so they are always in deficit and they fall in the trap of debt. They will take some money from an influential persons in the village, and there will be interest upon interest upon interest and upon interest. They can never repay that amount. So what we do, we are basically enabling these poor women in rural India to start and run successful poultry enterprises. How we do that? Through resilient cooperative business model. So typically we are promoting both broiler farming as well as layer farming. In broiler farming, typically a woman will have a poultry shed of 400 to 800 capacity bird, which is built at her backyard so that she can simultaneously work at her home as well as at the poultry farm. And she earns annually 40,000 to 80,000 rupees by putting hardly 2-3 hours a day to manage her flocks, and that too for 200 days, because birds will not remain all for 365 days. There will be 15 to 20 days gap in between batches. Similarly, in layer farming, each woman has a poultry shed of 400 to 500 layer birds at her backyard, and she is able to earn anything between 50,000 to 60,000 rupees. So if you look at the business model, so business model in smallholder poultry, so these women from SC/ST communities, they are promoted as poultry producers in a cluster of villages, and then they are organized in a farmer-producer organization. And typically in a farmer-producer organization, there will be 500 to 1,000 such producers. And typically a farmer-producer organization is registered either as a cooperative society or as a producer company. And this cooperative, the farmer-producer organization, will provide everything: seeds, feed, medicines, vaccines, whatever is required to rear poultry at the doorstep of the farmers. The farmers are not required to pay anything upfront. The cooperative will provide, organize all technical services to the members, around the clock parametric services to the members at their village. This cooperative will also provide entire marketing arrangements of birds, eggs, through single window central marketing system, which is lifted right from the farmer's doorstep. Producers are paid on the basis of efficiency, how efficiently she produced the broiler birds or the eggs. Cooperative absorbs these day-to-day fluctuations because poultry market is very volatile. It's a wet market. And at year end, if cooperative makes profit, then part of it again goes to the members as bonus. So cooperative is managed by a team of professional staff from management backgrounds, veterinary backgrounds, accounts backgrounds, and cooperatives are equipped with this MIS software, ERP based. And we have adopted right from beginning quality management system. So across all of our cooperatives, we have adopted this quality management system. Cooperatives are then further integrated with the state level federation. These federations run plan, hatcheries, central procurements, marketing sales, etc., etc. And federations ensure that every member receives the quality raw materials at base price. And federations also ensure that every member, every cooperative has better market access and they realizes best prices for their produce. So whatever margin is earned by the federation goes to the cooperative as dividend, because these cooperatives are the members of the federation. So it is a three-tier system: producers, and then cooperatives, and then federation. So it is typically a 500 capacity broiler farm owned by a woman producer, usually a tribal woman producer, which is built right at her backyard. This is a typical 400 capacity commercial layer farm. The cooperative model is like this: this 400, 500 producer capacity producers, small producers, they come together. They become part of a poultry cooperative societies where there are 500 to 1,000 such producers. Cooperative society will provide all inputs, all kind of services up to marketing through supervisors and team of professionals, which will be available right at the doorstep of the producers. Typically, a producers collective or farmer producer organization will have turnover of 15 to 30 crores annually, 15 to 30 crores annually, and a margin of 1.5 to 3 crores annually. And at family level, a tribal family with 200 days of engagement, a tribal woman can earn anything between 40 to 60,000 rupees out of this activity. So this community-owned poultry enterprise, it is making this for owning the business. So this producer collective's most important part of the success, success mantra behind this model is that producers collectives provide everything to the producers at their doorstep, all kind of services, production related services, technical services, financial services, marketing services, everything. So that a poor tribal woman, she became part of the very sophisticated, highly competitive poultry industry. The State Federation is providing all input services, bulk procurements of devil seeds, feed, medicines, equipments, backyard linkages with Rams feed plant, breeder farm, hatchery, central procurement of raw materials. Then it is providing all kinds of techno-managerial supports, organizing training for the producers, cooperative staffs, provide trained professionals for managerial positions of the cooperatives. It is organizing the financial services, mobilizing funds, working capital for the producers, for the cooperatives. It is providing marketing services, and it is also ensuring system compliances. So these cooperatives are integrated at state level federations. As I said, presently there are 3 state federations. One is in Madhya Pradesh, one is in Jharkhand, and one we have promoted in Assam. There are 27 primary producers collectives. So our key drivers are our productivity is really, really good. It is better than in certain circumstances or units. It is better than any industry average, because it's a small decentralized unit. So we could control the cost of productions because everything happens centrally. It is integrated business to federation, although there's this at the ground level, it is small production unit. And we have effectively tapped the small local rural markets where we can realize 1 rupees more than the big city markets. If you look at our growth path, we started this first unit, that is Kesla Poultry Society, in 2001. I started working with this Kesla Poultry Society. We organized 200 tribal women in 2001 and promoted the first poultry societies. And today in 2019, 2020, our last year's turnover was 525 crores. And from 200 women producers, last year it was 14,000 women producers who were working under our supports. And they earned more than 40 crore rupees in their hands. So yes, this poultry business has suffered all ups and downs, has gone through all ups and downs. In 2006, we had 6-7 cooperatives at that time. And on 19 February, when bird flu was declared, so in Nawapur in 2006, so it was a nightmare. All these cooperative societies lost almost everything. So we again started from zero, almost zero, because they sold bird at 1 rupee, 2 rupee, and they lost their entire capital in 2006. But surprisingly, in 2007, they returned to the business very nicely, and they made good profit. And this was the year when all these cooperatives distributed dividend bonus to the producers. Again, there were lots of ups and downs across these years, but in 2020 in March, because of this COVID and mites related to poultry, again is like all other commercial poultry, the same hit these poultry cooperative societies also got. And collectively, all these cooperative societies, they destroyed almost 15 lakh birds. On 15th of March this year, we decided to destroy 15 lakh broiler chicken and 1 lakh layer bird, and more than 20 lakh hatching eggs. We removed all those hatching eggs from our 5 hatcheries and destroyed them. And we destroyed more than 1.5 lakh chicks. So this was the total destructions we did on 15 to between 15 to 28th of March this year. And collectively, all these units made a loss of almost 50 crores. So this was the total loss. These 27 producers, farmer producer organizations, and the federations made. But fortunately, we are back to the business again. So today we are operating at almost 70% of our capacity, with a replacement of almost 18 to 20 lakh birds every month. Normal replacement is almost 27 to 28 lakh. And we wish to come to our 100% capacity next quarter. So hopefully all of our units will be operating at full capacity at the end of this calendar year, and last quarter of this financial year. So we are largest broiler production house in Jharkhand and Madhya Pradesh. In Jharkhand, we produce almost 10 lakh bird every month. There are 10 producers collective, but because of COVID issues, so we have reduced the production. Today we are producing almost 6 to 7 lakh in Jharkhand. In Madhya Pradesh, normally we produce anything between 15 to 16 lakh every month broiler chicken, but right now we are producing anything between 11 to 12 lakh. And we have 2 functional layer units, layer farmer producer organization, one in Madhya Pradesh, one in Jharkhand. We are promoting a few more. And the most importantly, this smallholder commercial poultry has demonstrated as a relevant income generating activities for these resource poor families. And today we are one of the larger integrations in India. But most importantly, this entire business is owned by tribal and Dalit women. And we are very proud to say that we are recognized for better than industry productivity. Our broiler production efficiency is really, really good because of small decentralized unit. So presently, up to 2000, end of 2019-20 financial year, we are working with almost 14,000 poultry producers, and all those poultry producers were promoted by us. It is not that they are first generation poultry producer. And most importantly, 99% of them are illiterate. They are organized into 27 producers organizations, as I said, 3 state level federation, MP, Jharkhand, and Assam. Although we have small presence in Vidarbha, Maharashtra, we have 1 unit, and we are promoting 1 more unit in Vidarbha. We have 1 unit in Orissa. So this is a social enterprise. So what kind of an impact this social enterprise is creating? So this target family annual income increment through this activity with 500 birds capacity is anything between 40,000 to 60,000 rupees. At the context of a tribal family whose annual income is hardly 15 to 30,000 rupees, so there is 100% increase in annual income. The family comes to a net surplus positions, and they start investing in education, health, land, etc. Most importantly, there is significant drop in distress migration. And most importantly, we are focusing on women. All of our producers are women, 100%. So these women stay back at home now. So when they used to migrate earlier, the entire family used to migrate. Now women stay back at home. So that's how the family life is restored, social life is restored, children can go to school, their educations can happen now. And this activity is also enhancing farm livelihoods because income from poultry is working as a buffer to the family livelihood portfolio. And poultry manure is becoming a very good, manure for them to use in their agriculture, whatever they have. And most importantly, each society, farmer producer organizations is creating sustainable job for 25 to 50 local youths. So there are many more impacts, social impacts, but these are the key social impacts. So if you look at our institutional architecture, so we are a public charitable trust. We originate the small poultry producers. We organize them around primary poultry producers collective, farmer producer organization. These farmer producer organizations are collectivized at the level of a state federation. And we are the organizations that is providing all kinds of supports to develop and nurture this smallholder poultry model so that they can survive and continuously grow. As I told, in financial year 18-19, they sold more than almost 35,000 metric tons of live birds, more than 20 million eggs. And last year, 19-20 also, volume was almost same. There was no growth because February, March, there was hardly any sale. So our last year, 18-19 sales was, collective sales was 525 crores almost. And 19-20 sale was also around 525 crores. Like any other big poultry company, we do have all those backyard integration facilities. So we have 150,000 broiler breeder farm, but we have ensured that 80% workers are women. So 80% workers in those farms are women. So we have two breeder farms right now. One is at Itasi in Madhya Pradesh, and one is at Gumla district in Jharkhand. Like any other big companies, we have a lot of hatcheries, 5-6 big hatcheries producing almost capacity of almost producing. Now it is increased. It is 3 million chicks every month. So we have all those big feed plants. So this is one of the one very sophisticated feed plan we have established in Madhya Pradesh, and we have production capacity of 400 metric ton per day. This plant was built with support of Rabobank, Netherlands. We do have promoted all those retail chicken shops in big towns like Bhopal, Ranchi, Jamshedpur. This kind of beautiful retail chicken shops we have promoted, but unfortunately, these shops are still not profitable. But people will have the different experiences of procuring chicken from this kind of shops. In the next 3 years, we want to reach out to 20,000 broiler producers in 50 collectives. So we need to add on another 4,000-5,000 producers. And we need to also expand the production capacity of our existing producers because 50% of our producers are producing hardly 400 birds. So we need to increase their capacity above 500. And today we are monthly producing almost 25 to 30 lakh broiler birds. That is the capacity today, although we are operating at 70%. We wish to touch 50 lakh per month production. We also want to promote 4,000 new layer producers. Already we have promoted 2,000 with annual placement of 14 lakh layer birds. And today our annual sales is around 525 crores. We want to touch 1,150 crores in the next 3 years. Our producers' incomes are almost 40 crores. We want to generate almost 100 crores in producers' hand and establish good market in Madhya Pradesh. So if we can achieve this in next 3 years, we will be one of the top 5 poultry producers in India. And it will be largest globally owned by these indigenous communities. So when you go to a village first time to talk with a tribal woman, if she would be interested to do poultry, so this is her typical attitude. She will not talk to you. She will hardly come out of her house and she will hardly speak with strangers. But after working for a few years with the same woman, she can meet the Prime Minister also. And she can present what she does. So this is Kunti Dhurbe. She is president of one of our poultry society. And she demonstrated the smallholder poultry model that we have created to the Prime Minister of India. So like any other business activities, we do have some challenges. But our challenges beyond business, poultry business, our challenges are more into originating the producers and organizing the business and ensuring the success. So I would like to quickly go through it. So resource mobilization is the biggest challenge we face because we choose to work with the ultra poor who hardly have anything to eat. So if you need to make a woman broiler farmer, so she will need to invest 1.65 lakh rupees. And a woman who does not have a single penny in her hand to ensure that she becomes a poultry farmer with an investment of 1.65 lakh rupees is a big challenge. Similarly, if we need to promote a layer unit, we need to put 3 lakh rupees. So therefore, our growth is limited. Although we wish to reach out to 50,000 farmers, it requires huge lot of money. And to mobilize those resources, especially from government and some from philanthropy, is a huge challenge. Community challenge, motivating this tribal woman who otherwise is a wage earner to be a poultry farmer is really a big challenge. And this where is members' myopia. Members is always look what I will get today. What return I am getting. She will not consider for long-term business sustainability. Self versus collective, what I get rather than what collective is earning, what the business is earning. And then transforming from a beneficiary when she is given money to build a poultry shed and to start poultry activity, from a beneficiary to become a real good poultry producers, and then to become an owner of the poultry business is a big transaction that requires a lot of engagement and handling supports. And managing this wage earner, because she was earlier as a wage earner, and then now we say that you are an owner. So she herself cannot believe whether she is a wage earner still or an owner. So there is always a dilemma. Fixed versus variable. So in business, she will get variable income, but she will always expect fixed income. Stable versus unknown. So she will always look for some stable income. But say in Corona times, there was no income. So these are the real big challenges at the community level. Then multiple roles she need to play. She is a producer, she is a member of a collective, and she is also a board member, governing board. Because all those collectives are managed by those women producers, representative of those women producers. Establishing this business and creating market linkages at rural context is really a big challenge. Who will play the entrepreneurial role? Because you have chosen those women who were never entrepreneurial and who is from the bottom line. So she never think of doing a sophisticated poultry business or an enterprise. She does not know to count money even in certain instances. Ensuring productivity in decentralized unit. Today we have 15,000 women producers. And there are more than 20,000 small farms. To ensure productivity across 20,000 farms, spread over geographies from Maharashtra to Assam is really a big challenge. We are working in 5 states. Marketing challenge, it is as usual like all other poultry players, volatile poultry market. There are 27 producers organizations. These are all registered body. There are a lot of statutory and regulatory challenges with cooperative department, with companies, with income tax department, with sales tax department, governance challenges. These women producers, although they are becoming the board members or governor, or they are on the board of the societies, but the quantum of information goes to them and their capability to interpret all those informations, because it's a business of multi-crores, is really a big challenge. And ensuring this members' biasness, that members gets good return and strengthening the business. These both things needs to happen simultaneously in a social enterprise, which is really a big challenge to manage, to balance these both aspects of a social enterprise. And the biggest challenge we face is to retain the professional manpower. So a guy who is trained in the good management schools like IRMA, or who is trained in a veterinary university, if I recruit him and if I say that you need to live for at least 10 years of your life in a small tribal village, so it is extremely difficult to motivate and inspire people. So our retention rate is attrition rate is very, very high. Every year we recruit more than 50 professionals, and out of them hardly 10 joins as after exposure, and out of 10 hardly 2-3 graduates become an executive or managers in our organization. So that is the level of attrition we face. If we recruit 50, we get 2-3 managers, because no one is willing to return back to an interior rural pocket to work with tribal people or live in an interior rural areas with all those, compromising with all those basic amenities. So I myself lived in a tribal village for more than 7-8 years at Suktawa. So it's a big challenge. So he is our inspiration, Padma Shri and Raman Magsaysay awardee Sri Deep Joshi. So he is the guy who keeps on saying that civil society or the NGOs, people who works for civil societies, they need to have both head and heart. If you only have a heart, you will keep on throwing solutions that will not touch the human core. And if you only have a bleeding heart, it will not work. So he is the guy who basically he is a graduate of MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and he is a management graduate from Sloan, but he preferred to work for development sector. So he is the guy who helped me to be a development professional. So I became a trainee as a development in development sectors in his organization, which is Pradhan. So all these producers collectives, they have claimed most of the awards in this country as far as awards for cooperatives are concerned, best cooperative awards in the state, best cooperative award in the country, best farmer producer organizations in the country, and national entrepreneurship award. So almost all the awards, national level awards, they have won, and they have won many international awards also. So these are few sorts of few of the certificates. So there are many more, hundreds and hundreds. So as a social entrepreneur, so I would like to caution most of the entrepreneurs who are listening to me. So most of the entrepreneurs, if not most, at least a big chunk of the entrepreneurs, they suffer from this syndrome, founder syndrome. So these founders, at some point of time, do not realize that I myself is the biggest hindrance to the growth of this organization. I am not allowing the growth of this organization. I am not allowing to create systems and process and become transparent. I am not allowing my people or staff or workers or professionals to grow. So because founders start believing that if I leave this organization, the organization will die. Or if I stop making decisions, the organization will collapse. Or if I pass on responsibilities to others, then the organization will lose everything. And that's how the feelings a founder must have at the initial stage. But at a later stage, it may be detrimental to the growth of the organization. So today we started Kesla Poultry Society with 200 producers. This is one society. And today there are 27 such societies, 15,000 women producers. We have a professional of like me, professional staff of 100, professional staff, almost 100. And we have promoted everyone as an entrepreneur. Because in our context, this tribal woman, she cannot play the entrepreneurship role, howsoever we may put efforts. So all these managers who are working in our organizations, they need to play the entrepreneurship role.
Thank you so much, Doctor. You can.
So at the last, you can accomplish anything in life, provided that you do not mind who gets the credit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You can stop the screen sharing. Wonderful, wonderful. And I wish that your organization under your team leadership is worth for Magsaysay award. आपको Magsaysay मिलने वाला है. आप जल्दी ready हो जाइए. So I feel that you are an inspiration for Magsaysay award. I hope that everybody agrees with me that Dr. Deka would be a contender for Magsaysay award in the near future. And today I don't know how many of you know that.
Not because
today, how many of you know that 99-year celebration is happening for Dr. Kurian? The Dr. Kurian is called Maha Man or Milk Mahaman. So Milk Mahaman or Milk Mahaman. So I would wish that Dr. Deka will be Murgi Mahaman. So Murgi Mahaman, we can call him in the future because you are working in the bottom of the pyramid. So it's a great accolade and really, really hats off to your team. Not a turnover per se, at 500 crore turnover, I'm not really, excited. The excitement is the force. That's why I named your tagline as Women Army in Poultry. So hats off to you. We wish to touch millions of women. India is known for population. Very great of you. So thank you so much.